Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the new Hasbro Pulse Marvel Legends Invisible Woman. This is one of their retro carded figures. It comes on this kind of packaging. I thought you might like to see that. Very reminiscent of the old 90s toys. Love it. These are some of the best. I thought the Spider-Man ones were good. These ones are even better. And if you do buy the Hasbro Pulse version, which is the one we're looking at now, you get it in this white shipper type box. So you get that if you want it. Just a white carton basically, and then you can keep it in this packaging, or you can take it out as I have, because that makes more sense since it is an action figure. Now this one is just a completely transparent figure. There's nothing really special going on here, but it's Invisible Woman, so they did a pretty good job with that, and I don't really have any complaints. However, there is some stuff to talk about, so let's go ahead and get it off the stand and take a closer look. Alrighty, this figure stands roughly 16 centimeters just to the top of the hair, and that's going to make it just about 6¼ inches, and it's going to be your standard Marvel Legends figure. But before we talk about the rest of the review, let's go ahead and do a quick question of the day. I asked the other day which Fantastic Four member was your favorite. Now I'm going to ask you which Fantastic Four villain is your favorite. Doctor Doom does count. I know most people are just going to say that, but maybe somebody will say Super Skrull. I don't know. You can let me know. I'm all about Doctor Doom. He's so cool. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about the aesthetics of the figure. As you can see, there's no paint anywhere on the figure. It doesn't have any sort of detail work that you could really speak of at all, and it does look good though. I think they really conveyed what they were trying to convey properly. It looks pretty nice. It's very transparent. And at this point, you're probably wondering how long I'm going to go on with the gag. And I was going to do it the whole way through to the articulation, but I'm thinking that's probably too much. So we'll just go ahead and take a look at the figure. It is transparent, but it is not clear. As you can tell, it's got a very bluish gray hue to it. And of course, you're not going to get perfectly clear plastic unless you're using straight up acrylic that looks like glass. This is all PVC other than in here. And they did a good job of making all the colors match. I will note, though, I do have some parts that are fairly milky. Her left thigh, your right side, the one you're looking at here, and her testicles are fairly milky compared to the rest of the figure. I do suppose this will be okay, though. It will be sufficient. It'll look good enough on a shelf with other figures. Obviously, it's nowhere near actually fully transparent, but it'll be good enough. So that's fine. The sculpt is all sculpt we've seen before. I do believe it's the old head that we saw not that long ago, and so that's okay. It's fine. It's what I would expect from a Invisible Woman figure that is meant to look invisible. So aesthetically speaking, I'll give it a 7 out of 10. I don't think they had to go with that milky look. I'm thinking they might have done it so that they could put pegs in that are not transparent plastic and things like that, so that it kind of blends better. But it's very bluish gray, and that might also be to prevent it from yellowing. But I suspect the PVC will still end up yellowing over time on its own, as it tends to with this kind of finish. So we'll see, but it definitely looks good enough, and I'm okay with it. Now, as far as accessories go, she does have the 2 open hands on her in the package. Then we get the 2 fist hands that come with her in the package, and we get her little invisible force field type effect part, which is very nicely done. And I could swear that the Hasbro Pulse exclusive one was marketed as having 2 of these, so that she could do like the hands out on both sides, creating a force field type pose. But maybe that's just a photo I saw. I'll see if I can figure out what I'm talking about. But we do only get the 1 again, so nothing new there. Fine accessories, but I think 2 would have been cool, but we don't have it. So 7 out of 10, that's probably being generous, but it'll do. Okay, now as far as articulation goes, it's all stuff we've seen before. We have the ball peg on top of the hinge. I can't get it to move without forcing it, and it makes me feel like I'm breaking it every time. But you do get the hinge. It kind of dislocates the neck. But you get the ball peg on top, which allows it to rotate well enough. However, the hair is very tight to the head and the neck, so you're not going to get a whole lot of posability other than your standard rotation. Shoulders are standard shoulders, swivel hinge shoulders, so you have the rotation there. No bicep swivel here at all. You get your single jointed elbow, just about 90 degrees, nothing special there. That's where you get your bicep swivel, which doesn't work very well. She has the very thick, right here, thick upper forearm and thick shoulder, so we do have some limitations there. Wrists have a swivel and a hinge, that's all standard. Diaphragm joint is a ball peg, which is not the worst one we've ever seen. It's not the best, but it definitely works well enough, and nothing for the lower torso. For the hips, we have our hinge that goes out to the side, and I'd like to talk about this for a second because this gives me a good opportunity to lead into a video I'm going to be making sometime in the future. You guys remember I did the articulation explanation about wrists one time. I do plan to do hips very soon, probably hips and torsos separately. But this gives me a good opportunity. I keep talking about, when I talk about the hips having no range like this, that they just need to move the joint over farther. And as you can see here, this joint is farther over than center, and that's a good thing. That does give clearance, and I do believe this figure would have enough clearance based on the pivot point right there. However, they have not carved away, I mean, I know they're not actually carving it away, but they haven't cut out enough plastic at the top of the curved part of the hip. I can't really show you because it's in there. You're actually banging up against the hip itself on its own peg. It's not hitting the crotch piece at all. So why they chose to do that, I do not know. They got this far enough over, but still didn't give themselves enough room. So that's very strange. I don't know why they would do that. But yeah, they don't go out even to 45 degrees, so that kind of sucks. They do go forward. Yeah, I still can't really show you in there what I was talking about. But you should have a cutout in there so that the leg can go this way without hitting the peg that runs through the crotch. Instead of it just hits. So that kind of sucks. They don't go back very far at all. Thigh swivel is fine. Double jointed knee, not as much range as I would like. There's really no reason to have such limited range on such a thin figure. But we do, it's very limited. And then for the ankles, it's our standard ankle joint. It does go all the way back and far enough forward. I'll take that, I like that. And you get a decent ankle rocker. So yeah, it's your average Marvel Legends. Nothing special, nothing great. The hips definitely could be better, neck could be better. Lots of it could be a lot better. Nothing too bad. So I'll give it a 6 out of 10. It's not great, but it will be okay for a character like this. So I think that's fine. So yeah, final verdict on this thing, like, it's fine. If you really want a fully transparent Invisible Woman on the new retro card, then this is the way to go. It's your only choice, and it's not bad, so I think it's okay. However, it's not particularly impressive, so if you're not dying to fill out that spot in the team and you just want to go with a plain one, I think you're going to be safe there. That's fine. So yeah, hey, let's do another quick question of the day. Do you guys like it when they're in their blue suits, or do you like it when they have their powers on? For this one and Johnny Storm, at least. What's his name? Human Torch. Obviously the other two always have their costumes on, but maybe you could go with plain or stretched out there for at least Mr. Fantastic. Alright, so yeah, I'll give it a final verdict of 7 out of 10. It's fine, it's good enough, it fills the spot okay. I'm not impressed, I'm not disappointed, it's just another run-of-the-mill Marvel Legends figure that is what I expected it to be. So there it is, guys. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed, you might want to. I have new videos almost every single day and thousands already on the channel. So make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.